My name is Hunter Williams, and I'm running for Birmingham City Council, District 2.
What is your motivation for running for this office?
I have been the Crestline neighborhood president for the past year, and over the course of that year, I have noticed that there's three deficiencies in our municipal government where they have been lacking to provide us service. The first of which is law enforcement coverage. We have very poor law enforcement coverage in our district, and as a result, we have a large number of auto thefts and burglaries in our district. The second thing is the city is not doing its job to maintain what it owns. And what I mean by that is they're not cutting right-of-ways. You go into a lot of city parks in District 2 and the grass is up to your knees. And also there's facilities like Banks High School site, which has sat vacant for 8 years and been a campaign issue for the last two campaigns. It's lowering property values and attracting crime. The third thing that the city is not doing is they're not spending what they need to do on infrastructure. And when I talk about infrastructure, I mean street resurfacing and sidewalk construction.
Okay. What do you see as Birmingham's major challenges and assets?
We have this upcoming fiscal year, we have a $428 million budget. We're going to have to challenge ourselves and look at our overall goals as a city. We need to be able to provide more economic opportunity for our students when they graduate our high schools. That means looking at ways to fund trade schools for the Birmingham City Schools. We have to look at the basics that our municipal government is supposed to be doing, and by basics I mean providing public safety, picking up the trash, mowing the right-of-ways, and repaving streets. We really need to focus on should we be traveling so much, or should we be resurfacing our streets, which haven't been resurfaced in 8 years.
Okay, thank you. How will you determine the city's wants versus needs?
I think going back to the last question, we need to look at what the responsibilities are of the city. And when you look at funding education initiatives, repaving streets, public safety, all those things that I just mentioned in the last question, those are the needs of the citizens. So I think you have to look and see what the needs of the citizens are, what the city must provide to be successful as a city and to be a good steward of the taxpayer dollars. And then anything over that would be a want if it's not directly something tangible that the citizens actually need on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. How will you establish a good working relationship with the elected mayor to ensure the city's success?
No matter who is elected as mayor, I think the only way to be a successful councilman or councilwoman would be to have a good working relationship with the mayor. You have the Mayor-Council Act where really the scales of power are in the mayor's favor. And so while he proposes the budget and the city council just ratifies it, if you don't have a working relationship with the mayor, then you will not be effective in advocating for your district whatsoever. I think that is a huge issue with our city council right now. You see some councilors that go on public TV and air grievances that they have about the mayor in front of the public eye, and it creates a bad working relationship with the mayor. And really, if the most successful council people that have good working relationships with the mayor go behind closed doors and say, Mayor, whoever it is, I need this for my district. Work with me. How can we get this accomplished? And that's the right path, and that's the right thing for a councilor to do, not to air any kind of public grievances on TV or during city council meetings, anything like that.
Okay, thank you. Suppose the city council faced a development proposal that meets all the regulations, yet a large number of citizens appeared before the city council to stop it. How would you vote?
When you say it meets all the regulations, what do you mean, zoning regulations? Is that what you're referring to? Yeah. I think that if the citizens don't, the job of the councilor is to advocate for the citizens. It's not to do anything else except advocate for the citizens, do what is best for the citizens, whether they're in your district or as you're voting on an issue that's not in your district, whether it's best for the citizens of Birmingham. if it's not best for the citizens, if the citizens don't want it, then I'm a representative of the citizens and not a representative of myself. So I would vote in what the citizens' best interest is.
Okay, thank you. Last question. What distinguishes you from the other candidate?
I think that the best city councilors are those that are not doing this as a full-time job. I think that the best councilors are the ones that are not looking for a job. I think that the best councilors are ones that know what is going on in their neighborhoods, all of their neighborhoods in their district. And I think that the best councilors also will do whatever it takes to advocate for their district to get projects done. I think that those three things are three areas that differentiate me from the incumbent. And I'm going to continue to work at my full-time job, but I got into this because we need an advocate in District 2. There's a lot of changes going on throughout the city, and the District 2 and the East Side as a whole has been largely ignored in terms of resources by the city. And I've lived in District 2 now. I think I've lived there for about 10 years, and I'm going to live in Birmingham the rest of my life for the next 30 years old. Probably be here the next 60 years, or however long I live. And so I really think that right now our city is at a crossroads. We can become the next Detroit, or we can become the next, you name it, Austin, wherever. I think that if our municipal government partners with private industry, with some groups in the private sector, we can really change what the landscape looks like for the city as a whole, and my district. I think that that is the only way we're going to be able to get the support we need on the East Side and in all the neighborhoods, and not just the downtown area.
Okay, thank you, Hunter. Can you look into this camera and tell the citizens of District 2 why they should vote for you?
I want you to vote for me on October 3rd because I am doing this because I have noticed that we have weakness in our representation in District 2. I think that the east side of Birmingham needs to have more resources given by the city. I think that right now we have not been given an equal or adequate share of resources. And I think that we can see that. We see that when we drive down to Puerto Madrid and everybody's swerving left to right like they're a DUI driver because you have to avoid potholes or you're going to get a flat tire. You see that when you drive by all of Crestwood, Brown Springs, Southeast Lake, and then into Roebuck Springs, and the grass that the city is supposed to be cutting in their right-of-ways and their parks is up to your knees. I see that when you drive by Banks High School, and it's been an election issue for the past 2 elections, and here 8 years later it sits as a attraction for crime and is a public nuisance, lowering property values. I think that I will be, and I don't want to say a better advocate, but essentially I will be a better advocate for our district. I think that for too long we have been forgotten, and we can't keep going down this path another 4 years. We've been forgotten for 8 years. Let's not go down it another 4.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.